Hello. Hello everyone. Uh, Welcome to the live session on the TIE page. I would like to thank TIE Bhavnagar for continuing this series of the Power Talk, and there have been a lot of sessions happening for parents. A lot of educators have been joining. Today's session is going to be about professionalism in teachers. Thank you, Tai Bhavnagar, and of course, Harsha ma'am. Thank you for having me speak to all the educators here. So, I can see people are joining. I'm just trying to figure out if we are live and okay. Just a moment. Yeah, I see people are joining in. Great. So today's topic is professionalism in teachers. I would like to start with putting my view forward. I feel that in today's time, and the way I look at it, is that teachers, I believe, are into a responsible and important role today. And the kind of impact that teachers create in the society is very important, and there is no denial that teachers are definitely role models. While we say this and we put all this responsibility on educators, on teachers, I am sure that we all understand that this also brings in a lot of power. So the other way around is that with great powers come great responsibilities. So while we are speaking about the important attribute or the trait that teachers must possess in today's time, when the teacher is expected to do a lot more than just teaching. That is, the teacher is going to be a facilitator, a friend, a counselor. There are multiple roles that a teacher is supposed to play. So I am going to touch upon the core 10 aspects which I feel that in today's time are very relevant for teachers to integrate or imbibe within themselves as professionals. And these 10 points are the key attributes for a teacher to display professionalism. So let me just start with, I'm trying to put forward a poll if I can. Let me just check that. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, I don't see that as an option. Just 1 second. Yeah. So I believe you all can see the poll on your screen. Is professionalism an important attribute for teachers or not? You all will be able to vote on this poll, and I'll be able to see some results. So I'm sure there are a lot of educators. I still see people joining in. Okay, I see votes coming in. Okay, I'll just give half a minute. Is professionalism an important attribute for teachers? Yes, no, maybe. So all those who can see the poll, go ahead and give your opinion. Let's see what educators have to say about this. Yeah. Okay. So of course in a lot of other professions we see that there are a lot of professional upgradations. There's a lot of okay, I see Chalpa ma'am here commenting yes, of course professionalism is important. I see Rainbow Kids saying yes, professionalism an important attribute for teachers. Yes. Okay, great. I think I should give 30 seconds more. People are trying to vote in. So while we talk about professionalism, we need to understand that as teachers, why this is more important, or why this attribute plays an important role, especially today, while teachers are connected with students, parents, the community itself. The teachers are connected with the society in so many ways. Okay, I see Rupali Tanna ma'am, yeah, she says yes. Sheetal ma'am, she's typing in a response. I can see the comments coming in. Okay, good enough. I think I'm going to move ahead with this. So the poll is still there. People who join in can vote. Now I'll start with one very important thing. The first thing being attire. Of course, as teachers, it is very important for us to be in an appropriate attire, very respectful, smart, neat and clean, and of course it has to be formal. So I'm sure you understand that as a teacher, when you're standing in a classroom and the kids are observing you, they are silently looking at you and they are admiring you. So the right attire that you put forward to them is going to be followed by your students. They're going to talk about it. They are going to imitate you. I'm sure all the teachers know that all your kids are imitating you, right? That kids like doing that, right? So when the kids are so observant about teachers, the first point that I mentioned is attire. It's very important that teachers have the right attire, and the teachers must represent them in the form of their attire in the best way possible. The second point, which I feel is very important, and I see that most of the teachers do show this in their day-to-day, that is punctuality. So as teachers, it is very important for us to be punctual. I cannot be running late into my classroom. I cannot be running late into my school. We work on tight schedules. We work on a lot of continuous lectures or periods, and that's where time management plays an important role. So punctuality is an important trait. Punctuality has to be considered. Okay, I see a lot of comments in here. Yes, of course, professionalism is one of the most important attributes of teachers. Janvi ma'am mentioned this. So yeah, punctuality is important. I would like to add one more thing here. Punctuality is being on time or before time if possible. Beyond that, if you need, as teachers, you have your own personal lives. You have to go early, you might be on a leave. Make sure that you keep the management well informed. Make sure that your HODs are well informed. You must be careful that you have passed on the right message that today you are not there, or today you are going to be leaving early. So this also I would term in as a basic discipline of punctuality, and this is the second point after attire, that is punctuality. So this also is very important. The third point is communications. Communication in today's time is very important. Of course, verbal, non-verbal, emails. Today a lot of us are operating on WhatsApp groups or emails with our parents and of course students, or within ourselves with colleagues and the school. And therefore we need to make sure that our communications are very clear. We cannot afford to have mistakes in our communications. We should ourselves proofread and also make sure that this communication is being proofread by our colleagues also. So I might tend to avoid, or I might tend to ignore some mistakes. I might not be observant enough, but if I have my colleague doing some proofreading for me, I can be sure enough that this cross-checking is happening and there is no error. So third point is communications. Proofread it well and cross-check it well. So communication is also a sign of professionalism, great communication. We must be careful that we are not using the SMS language. We must spell the words correctly. We must not use the slangs which probably we might be using on an SMS or a WhatsApp. That should not be used while we have our professional communication happening. So that's an important point. Fourth is very important. I would emphasize on this: discretion. What sort of discretion? Discretion means that keeping information up to yourself. As a teacher, you are playing a very crucial role, and you will get a lot of information about students, about your colleagues, about your school. How do you keep this information discreet? You must not go around and speak to your colleagues about some discrete information about your students or about your parents or about your school. So you have to be very careful and very cautious. What information are you sharing? You have to be very careful with whom are you sharing. So that's also a very important trait, I would say, or discipline that you need to maintain. You're not supposed to go and talk about your school or your students with everybody around, not even at home. You might need to keep that information discreet, because you don't know, today you go and talk to somebody, I go and talk about a particular student to one of the teachers, or I go and talk to somebody at home, और पता नहीं वो आगे किसको शेयर करेंगे. They might share it with somebody and it might be damaging. So you must not share discrete information about your school, about your students, about your colleagues for that matter, or your classroom with people around. You must be cautious enough to share or what you're sharing. Fifth is avoid groupism. So as teachers, I'm sure we have our favorite colleagues, we have our favorite students, we might be friends with HODs, we might be working in a school for long years, many years, and therefore groupism is bound to happen. But as teachers, we need to make sure that we try and avoid this. This should not happen, because this will reflect in your work. This will impact your work, this will impact your behavior with your students, also your behavior with your colleagues and your HODs. So groupism is something that you must cautiously avoid. This will also reflect with your parents. You might have parents who are your friends or who are staying in your society or your your building, and you might tend to form a group and share some information beforehand because you are comfortable with them. That's not allowed. That's not allowed for you as a teacher. So you must make sure that there's no groupism with colleagues, with students, with parents. Collaborate, very important, and I'm sure a lot of you are already doing this today. Yes, I can read here. Gitika ma'am is mentioning all students are equal, same way all teachers are equal. Yes, cautiously you need to put in this effort that you treat each of your students, your pupils, as equal, and you, of course, you might have friendships with your teachers or your colleagues. Let us keep that out of this gamut of teaching or your school or your profession. Let that not impact or intervene with what you're doing in the school. So that's also important. Let me see, I think I can pull in one more poll here. So there's another poll coming on your screens. Does professionalism add value to you as an individual? So this poll is directed to teachers. So I'm sure you're able to see this poll. Does professionalism add value to you as an individual? Yes or no? So does professionalism add value to you as an individual? Yes or no? Okay, I'll keep continuing the points. We are 6 points down. Collaboration is important. You need to collaborate with students, with teachers and parents also. We are in a lockdown situation, and today if you do not collaborate with parents, if you don't take their help, you might not be able to do a lot of fruitful activities with your kids. I'm sure all of you would agree to that. And you might have a certain set of thoughts But if you want new things to come in, you will have to collaborate with a lot more educators, with a lot more people like in the TIE, where you will get a lot of ideas from other colleagues, and you can implement that to deal with your kids, even in a situation like lockdown. So collaboration is another important thing which has to be kept in mind as a part of professionalism in teachers. Okay, I see a lot of people giving in comments, and people saying yes, definitely professionalism adds in a lot of value to you as an individual, as a teacher, and it does keep us focused also. I'll jump on to the seventh point, which is honesty and integrity. Honesty and integrity is very important. We are teachers, we change jobs. Today I'm in a school, tomorrow I might be in some other school. Also, as a teacher, and with the kind of responsibilities that I have, the school might entrust a lot of information on me, and they might share a lot of things with me. I am not supposed to reveal this to somebody where it can damage the image of my institution. So honesty towards my institution, towards my work, towards my parents and kids is very important. Integrity. Tomorrow if I'm in some other school, I must not talk bad about the other school, or I must not reveal things about my previous organization. That's what we call as a professional behavior, right? So yeah, I see people are still voting in. Continue doing that while I move to the eighth point after honesty and integrity is role model. So as teachers, it is very important, and you are already role models. So you need to behave like a role model. So whatever you do, whatever you are doing is going to impact a lot of people around you in the society. You cannot say that I'm a teacher in the classroom, and outside when I'm going for a party or a get together, or I'm walking around in the market, I'm not a teacher anymore. You are still a teacher. You are still representing your organization, and you are going to still represent whatsoever you do. Whatever you're doing is going to create an impact. So as a role model, you will have to adapt a behavior that suits to somebody who's a role model. And I'm also going to talk about this in my last point, but you are a role model, so behave like a role model. As teachers, we must behave like a role model. And the ninth point is your language, your the way you talk within the school premises, in front of your kids, with your colleagues, with your parents is very important. Stay calm. I'm sure you're going to come across a lot of parents who are very inquisitive and who have a lot of questions, who are going to ask funny things at times. But be patient and keep a cool. Use the right language. Do not get frustrated, or do not try to be offensive. So language also plays a very important role as a professional. Your language also has to be up to the mark. You cannot afford to use any language that is not suitable to what role you are in. Last point is as professionals, as teachers, your behavior on social media. I'm going to take a minute on this. Your behavior on social media is very important. As we've been speaking in the other points, that people are observant, people are going to keep a watch on you, and they are expecting a lot of good behavior. I always use this word that as teachers, you all are celebrities. So if a celebrity does anything, it is the headline. So as teachers, if you are doing something, you need to understand that you are representing an organization. Tomorrow if you put a post, you might have any religious belief, you might have any political belief, but if you put that on a social media platform, in a public platform, on your WhatsApp or on your Facebook or Instagram, trust me, the first thing that people, your parents or students or people who know you are going to say is, this post is from that school's teacher. You posted this in your personal capacity. You posted this as an individual, but people are still seeing you associated with an institution, with the profession that you are into. So you have to be very cautious. It has to be neutral and it should not be biased in a way that your organization has to be, facing some form of, pinpointing or any form of objection from parents or any of the people in the society. Also, social media has to be tackled in a better way, because today it has become an integral part of our lives, and therefore clean social media footprints are very important, because people are browsing, people are seeing what kind of posts you make, what kind of likes you make, what are your comments. Therefore, as teachers, my recommendation, my suggestion is that one important point is that you should have good social media presence, clean social media presence. I'm supposed to wrap this up in 15 to 20 minutes, and I'm sure I'm running out of time, but I will quickly read these 10 points out. First thing is attire, punctuality, communications, discretion, groupism, avoid groupism, collaborate more frequently with teachers and parents. Honesty and integrity is an important trait to develop professionalism in yourself as teachers. The eighth point being role models. Be role models for your kids, parents, your institution as well. The ninth point is language, appropriate language everywhere. And the 10th point is social media. So social media is also very important. I'm sure in this short time this has given you some form of insight of why professionalism is important for teachers, and I hope that all of you are going to try and imbibe some of these points in your day-to-day transactions, in your work, and all of you can become better professionals, better teachers in times to come. I can see a lot of comments. Thank you everyone, and if there are any queries or questions, feel free to post in the comments. I would ensure that we try and respond to your queries if there are any. Let me thank all of you once again. Thank you TIE, thank you Harsha ma'am once again for pulling in all these educators together and having a lot of these sessions happening online. Thank you each one of you. Okay, I can see the voting. I'm going to stop the voting now, and I'm going to pause the poll option. Great. Thank you everybody. I hope this quick insight will help each one of you. Thank you. Have a good day and take care. Stay safe.